this season, I've been struggling with the themes. It's True Detective, you know there's going to be themes, but that scene in the barn, I think, brought them into complete clarity. Now, the first theme of this divide between the realm of men and the law of the jungle. Now, we get lots of references to this, whether it's Hayes, his time in Vietnam, where they used to just drop him into the middle of the jungle all by himself, and he would just hunt. And you see this is where he's completely at home, completely in his element, and you compare it to just the emasculation he feels when he's in the land of men, and he has to deal with people like the Attorney General, who always subordinates, you know, justice and this kind of raw vigilante justice to politics and, you know, playing nice and greasing elbows, and the way he feels just resentment at his partner, Roland, who always keeps his head down, you know, follows orders, works his way up the ranks, and even resentment towards Amelia and the way she uses her, you know, intelligence and her skill with words and manipulating, schmoozing, and that kind of soft power. You see him always wanting to revert back to that more primal law of the jungle, and you see him completely give into that this episode in the barn. But worse, more tragically, he also yanks Roland out of the realm of men and brings him into this realm of the jungle, and Roland's completely not equipped for this, and you see what the results are. Roland, you know, his career goes down, he never ends up with a wife or a family, and Roland may act like he's fine with that, but clearly he's not. Clearly the fact that he's alone as an old man, just drinking, an alcoholic, he's not as suited to this kind of lone wolf existence than Hayes. And it's a little on the nose, but remember that bedtime story of the Jungle Book, where obviously Mowgli, classic case of someone torn between, you know, the law of men and the law of the jungle. Now, the second theme that's very related is this idea that you can escape your past, and that when you live with the law of the jungle and you kill people and do horrible things, that's not going to have any effect on you going forward, because each moment is a new moment. You can just put your head forward, and all these things that you did in your past have no bearing on your current existence. And we see how this is completely untrue, and Hayes starts to realize this as he gets older. Suddenly he becomes kind of unstuck in time, where suddenly all these things that he did in his past, all these dark things, start slipping into his present, and suddenly Amelia as a ghost visits him and says this illusion, and she says, you know, Einstein said past, present, future being separate, it's a big illusion, and this illusion that he had that he could do these things and that was his past and they were going to have no bearing on his present is finally revealed to be an illusion. Suddenly he realizes all time exists all at once, all the things you've ever done, they all just kind of exist in this permanent state of existence. And it's such a cool callback to season 1. We got that exploration of Nietzsche and his idea of eternal recurrence and time's a flat circle and all that stuff. And it was this idea of just the gravity and the heaviness of being, where every decision you make, you have to realize that that decision is going to be repeated again and again and again. So every decision you make, you have to take it very seriously, and at any path you choose to walk, be prepared to walk that path again and again and again for all eternity. And this is a similar idea where any decision you make, any bad thing you've done, eventually you're going to grow up, and as your mind starts to go, this human delusion that time is linear and things have no relation to each other starts to slip, and suddenly you just start to ricochet around through all the things you've ever done in your life. So all those bad things that you thought were in your past and you'd escaped them, suddenly they've come back with a vengeance. So what we learned about the mystery, we know cousin Dan came to live with Julie, Will, Tom, and Lucy. Now, Dan and Lucy seem to have been in on this scheme, and they hatched it together. We know that Dan met with Mr. June, the black guy with the white eye, and then I think that Mr. June went and bought those 10 straw dolls from Patty Farber, that religious woman. He then was maybe one of the 2 ghosts. We know the 2 ghosts are the ones who gave those dolls to Julie and Will on Halloween. It's still unclear. So that hole that was drilled through the wall between Will and Julie's room, originally we thought it was just innocent and it was just so they could pass notes back and forth. But now that Dan seems to have been involved, maybe Dan was actually kind of skeevy and was using the hole. That's still unclear, though. It does seem that we know that Lucy was the one who sent the note, because it seems like she knew what happened to Julie, and was kind of trying to, I don't know why she sent the note, whether it was to reassure Tom and just get him to stop worrying so much, and she actually did care about Tom to an extent, or whether she was trying to throw everyone off the scent and get the police to stop investigating it is unclear, but it seems that she probably sent the note. Now, what's unclear is why Tom was trying to get a loan before the disappearance, why Julie was really excited to see her aunt and who her aunt is, why did Julie make that phone call saying that my dad's not my real dad, please stop looking for me, whether she was pressured to do that or that's genuinely the way she feels, and how her fingerprints ended up in that Walgreens. If she got abducted by these powerful people who presumably would take care of her, why would she be living on the street as a runaway? So that's still really unclear.